What's up, everybody? Fortexfiend here. Welcome back again to another video on SD Gundam G Generation Eternal. And in this video, I'm going to be giving you guys my overall thoughts and opinions on the recently released event featuring the Lacroan Hero for SD Gundam, and why I think they really nailed it with this one, and why this event is extremely awesome for free-to-play players. But before I go ahead and get started on that discussion, you guys know the drill. If you enjoy what you see on this channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, leave a like or dislike on this video, and comment down below what your overall thoughts and opinions are for this particular side story event. So we're going to go ahead and just jump right into it here. We're going to go into events. First and foremost, let's just get things out of the way. The aesthetic and the little bits of sound effects that they did to make this event very unique compared to the other story events that we've seen is awesome. Like, it just gives it its own personality, and I love just those little tidbits of what they did, especially, for example, with like the different stages. You got the different tiles that can like restore your HP, and it has like a different sound effect that just gave it a, just an overall nicer aesthetic, and it was very pleasing to hear, especially when I was playing this through my stream. So that already was a plus for me, because if they had just made this event into some of the other side story events, like for example Thunderbolt or even Seed Astray, where essentially things were kind of like the same with what you did. Sure, you went through a story, yeah, you did this and that, but then at the same time, the medal system was the same. Then it kind of would have just been like, okay, it's just like any other story event. But I really liked what they did with the aesthetic, the sound effects, and let's not forget, I also like the way that they designed the Gacha medal system for this particular one. So they went with, we're going to go ahead and collect cards from the Cardis machine right over here, the Cardis Gacha machine, and then depending on how many you collect, will unlock the specific mission rewards. And if you take a look at the mission rewards, because a lot of people were saying, oh, I still preferred the way that they did it with the other story events. But if you take a look at it here, you get a ton, and I mean a ton, of EXP materials, for your units and for your characters, and also for your warships as well. And we know that, specifically warships, they take a lot of EXP materials to, get to max level. So when all you're doing, if you're just collecting those cards from playing through the story events, playing through the boss event, you get like 2,000 of these EXP mats, and it's a lot. It adds up. Now, I do understand that you cannot get like weapon materials and stuff like that from this, but that's okay. To be honest, I actually prefer getting a bunch of these EXP mats, because we want to be able to max out as many of our favorite units or as many of our useful units as possible. And I think the way that they handled it with this, with collecting like a bunch of like different cards, and then unlocking mission requirements to be able to get more of these EXP mats, I thought it was handled brilliantly, and it was a lot of fun to do. Okay, now why do I think this event is perfect for free-to-play players, and why do I think it's perfect now if you're still considering getting into SD Gundam G Generation Eternal? Well, first of all, you only need to hit player rank 3 to unlock this event. So once you hit player rank 3, and if you're starting out on this game, my advice is jump on this event now. And the reason being is the way that they designed the structure for how you're supposed to complete these story events. So we're going to jump into this one, right? As you can see right here, only SD Gundam units can be used. Now, you might be thinking, well, isn't that a hindrance? Because in the other ones, we could use, we had one squad where you had to use, the theme teams to get the bonuses, and then like another one, right? Well, the reason why I think they did it great with this one is right after you do the first stage, you're given some SR units right off the bat that are already at like level 30. And if you are a brand new player, that's actually a pretty good head start. And then as you progress, right? As you progress through these different stages, and mind you, if you are a newer player, you're probably going to be playing through this manually, which is something that I actually enjoyed, because for the most part, whenever you're just autoing through the stage, you don't really get to appreciate, for example, the animations and the combat at times, because you're kind of just going through the motions. But because they put this, let's call it a restriction, but I think it was a good restriction, it kind of forced you to play manually, unless, of course, if you were a veteran player and you were sitting on a ton of EXP mats already and you were able to max out these units. But it allowed you to kind of strategize a little bit even with these stages. Now, what I also liked what they did is that when it came to like the hard stages and stuff, they fine-tuned it to where, because they're having you use the SD Gundam units only, they made the CP requirement something that's doable. So even a newer player, like after you've been playing through this event for a couple of days or even a few days, since it came out, you can work your way towards that CP and actually be able to do the hard stages without much trouble. And let's not forget, once you start actually like pulling through the metal gacha system and collecting the cards and getting the different missions done, you also unlock some SSR characters that they give you for free. And I'm going to show you right now that they give you not 1, but 2, but 3. We're going to go ahead and ignore the gacha units because, you know, I can't consider that for this video because I want to talk about this event itself. But you essentially get 3 SSR units. And for a new player or a free-to-play player that's just starting out, that's a fantastic start. I'm going to say right now, though, that Night Gundam is probably the star of the show, especially if you follow the story and you actually watch the story. There's something cool that happens to Night Gundam, and it was actually really entertaining to go through the story because I myself have never watched the anime that this was based off of, but from playing through this event, I got a lot of very Dragon Quest vibes, which is, I'm pretty sure that's where the inspiration was taken from, and it was super cool to watch, and all these unique interactions and unique, essentially animations from these characters. But yes, as a newer player or like a free-to-play player starting out, just play through this event, and you get 3 SSR units. Night Gundam being the best, then afterwards Satan Gundam, and then Night Zeong is probably just kind of the throwaway, but it's still an SSR, which for playing through an event, just by going through it, that's not too difficult, and getting 3 free SSRs, that is awesome. And also, you don't need to worry about a development tree for this particular story event, unlike the other ones, because as you collect those cards, again, we go back to those cards right over here. As you collect through these cards, you collect dupes of the particular ones, you're going to unlock the limit break materials, which again are part of the mission rewards depending on how many of the cards that you collect. So you don't have to worry about getting dupes of a character because you could all do it from this particular event as well. So that is one of the main reasons why I think this event is awesome. I think they really nailed it with this one. They made it very unique. They made it very easy to understand, and they also made it fun. And I think for free-to-play players and also newer players, this is definitely now the time to start and play this game, because this event right here will get you a nice head start. And not only that, but they have the campaign where they're giving out, you know, some diamonds, and also we just got a top grossing because of the recent event, so we got another 3,000 diamonds there. I will say that the expert boss fight, if you are a newer player, you're probably not going to be able to really tackle that one. That one's going to be a little bit more difficult because you are going to be required to take 2 parties. And again, if you're just starting out, there's not much the SD units can do. I mean, you could try to pull on the banners and try to work your way towards it. But my personal recommendation, if you are just starting out or you're newer, try to get to the point where you can at least do the hard stage and where you can at least clear it and be able to skip it. So then that way you have something to farm. You could get those medals and get to pull on the Cardist Gacha system right over here. Now, for us veteran players, which is something that I strategically did because I don't have much content to do, what I did is before this particular event came out, is I saved all of my AP, specifically when Master League was out, because I love how with Master League, they give you a quest on the daily missions, which if you try Master League once, it actually fulfills the 1 of the 6 requirements. So then that save, that, you know, use 50 AP, you don't have to do that one. So what I did was I purposely saved a ton of AP. I had like 4,000 AP when this event first came out. So then once I cleared through all the event stages, I was able to like super skip like the very last normal stage, since the hard stages only give you up to 3 skips. And then I was able to challenge the boss a ton of times. So what I did to my advantage is I pulled a ton on this gacha, and then afterwards, since I kept getting a lot of dupes, it allowed me to build the units super fast. So if you're a veteran player and you had held on to your stamina, that's probably the best way to go about this. But for free-to-play or newer players, this is a fantastic event. To me, it's like a big boost to your account when you're able to unlock 3 free SSRs. All of them are well, 2 of them are pretty good. 1 is pretty decent. And then if you decide to pull on the banner units are actually quite good, and I did cover them on my last video for the banner review for this particular event. But all in all, guys, I think this was a plus in my book for this particular event. It was different, it was unique, it was not hard to understand, and the way that they tuned it actually made it fun. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. What you guys think of this event? Did you like it? Did you like the unique experience from it? Because I definitely did, but I'd love to hear what you guys think. Thank you guys again for watching. Stay tuned for the next video, and stay blessed, everybody.
獅子として悪は見逃せん。行くぞ。みんなの平和のために。貴様のやっていることは許せん。行くぞ。みんなの平和のために。のほティムサコタラーキ。悪よほら。それで俺の身を捨ててやる。ワイナ去ってくれるわ。甘く見るな。世界を我が物とするのだ。その程度の力で歯向かうとはな。入れ邪魔だ。打ち抜く。消えてもらおう。貴様のやっていることは許せん。 ていることは許せん。騎士として悪は見逃せん。みんなの平和のために。